I need a thing for the thing, and I don't even know what the thing is supposed to be. Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise Book Series channel. I'm Christina, KRISTINA. And today we are talking about my favorite book in the In-Death series, Promises in Death. And I'm going to indulge myself a little bit by doing a little reading. It's my favorite book. As you know, I've been reading and reviewing all the In-Death books, starting with Naked in Death. Please check out all those videos, please. I could use the views, I could use subscribes, I could use thumbs up and likes, please. And Eve Dallas, what are you doing? Come on, come on. Eve Dallas is a lieutenant in the New York City Police and Security Department, and she's totally focused on her job. She's a cop, that's it, period, end. But over the past couple of years, she's been slowly coming around to the fact that she's got a husband, that she's got friends, that she has to endure social events. There's none of her. She had a rough childhood. She spent it in the foster care program. So she didn't receive presents, and she didn't have birthday parties, and she didn't do any of that kind of social stuff. So we will tackle that. The big book is coming up soon. And poor Eve goes through hell. But Promises is the second book in what I call the Louise Charles. Would you stop? I'm gonna mark everything. Come on, cousin. Hello, everybody. It's me. This is the second book in what I call the Louise Charles trilogy. They got engaged in Salvation, and this is the bachelor parties, and the next book they get married, and Eve has to stress us out. So, by this point, Eve has a large group of friends. See if we can. Darn it. You know, let's pretend that I have computer skills. There we go. So much for computer skills. Well, maybe I should put it on this side. There we go. I got computer skills. I can point. Alright. So, when an old enemy comes back, a really old enemy. So, it starts with, she was dead the minute she answered the link. She didn't question the caller or the urgency of the request. In fact, pleasure and excitement rushed through her as she put aside her plans for an early night. Her movements both graceful and efficient, she dressed quickly, gathering what she needed. She strode through her pretty apartment, ordering the lights to dim, and remembered to switch to sleep the little droid kitten her lover had given her as a companion. She had named him Shachmo. It mewed, blinked its green eyes, and curled into a ball. She gave its sleek white fur an affectionate stroke. "Be back soon," she murmured, making a promise she couldn't know would be broken. She glanced around the apartment as she opened the door, smiled at the bouquet of red roses in full and dramatic bloom on the table near the street window, and thought of Lee. She locked her door for the last time. Following ingrained habit, she took the stairs. She was a slim, athletically built woman with eyes of deep blue. Her blonde hair swung past her shoulders, a parted curtain for a lovely face. She was 33, happy in life, flirting around the edges of love with a man who gave her kittens and roses. She thought of New York, the life, the man as a new chapter, one she was content to walk through page by page and discover. She tucked that away to turn her mind to where she needed to go, what she needed to do. Less than 10 minutes after the call, she jogged down the second flight of steps, turned for the next. She had an instant to register the movement when her killer stepped out, another for surprise when she recognized the face, but not enough, not quite enough to speak before the stunner struck her mid-body and took her down. She came to with a shocking jolt, a burn of skin and blood, a rush from dark to light. The stunner blast had left her body numb, useless, even as her mind flashed clear. Inside the paralyzed shell, she struggled, she strained, she looked up into the eyes of a killer, into the eyes of a friend, and why? So, Eve discovers she's been dead. She's a cop. Let you go with that. And I'm just going to go through my favorite quotes. Um, we can skip this one. 68. Lieutenant! Somerset's voice had Eve's shoulders tightening. Here it comes, she thought. He'd ooze his disapproval all over her, like milk puke, because she'd forgotten they were having company and missed dinner. She braced for it, ran several snarling responses through her brain, and turned. He simply handed her a glass of wine. I'll bring your meal in here. Her eyes stayed narrowed as she watched him leave the room. That's it? That's all? Is he sick or something? He knows why you're late, Rourke said. That you're investigating the murder of a fellow officer. Give him some credit. She frowned into her wine, drank some. Do I have to? Since it was obvious she couldn't head straight up to work, she sat on the arm of Rourke's chair. Anyway, I left you a message about being late. I remembered to do that. I get credit too. So noted. Rourke rubbed a hand on her thigh. Progress? Not much. It's hard enough when it's another cop. But having to tell Morris. Eve! What? She glanced over, saw Rourke in the doorway that adjoined their home offices. Sorry, talking to myself. You found something interesting in Atlanta? Spoiler alert! I found something. A case she worked about 3 years ago. You haven't gone through those files yet. No, I just got them in this afternoon. What about the case she worked 3 years ago? A robbery. Upscale antique shop. The manager was beaten. Several $1,000s worth of merchandise taken. Nearly that much destroyed. They also forced him to open the safe and turn over all the cash credits and receipts, which carried the credit and debit data. One of the other employees found him when he went into work, notified the police and the MTs. Coltrane was assigned. Okay, so? During the investigation, she interviewed the owner of the shop and, according to her case files, spoke with him on the matter several times. His name is Ricker. Alex Ricker. Spoiler alert! So we move a little further along in the investigation. Covering many bases here. No marriages, no children on record. Alex Maximum Ricker, age 33, resides in Atlanta, Berlin, Paris, and mostly New York. Financier and entrepreneur listed as occupation of record. Also covering a lot of bases. Current net worth 18.3 mil. Oh no, there'll be more than that, Sir Rourke thought. Let's get down to it. He worked steadily for an hour, ordering multiple runs and chipping away manually. Covering asses too, aren't you now? Rourke mumbled to himself when he hit a block, shoved and tunneled around and under it. Not so quick to toot your own horn as your father was. Smarter, although posturing and preening helped him down right, didn't it? Ah, now there's a start. What you got? I've got nothing. Eve swirled around to him. Zip, you've got something. What? Apparently it's not coffee, he said with a glance at his empty mug. What am I, a domestic droid? If so, why aren't you wearing your frilly white apron and little white cap and nothing else? She sent him a pained look of sincere bafflement. Why do men think of that kind of get-up as sexy? Let me think. Mostly naked women wearing only symbols of servitude? No, I can't understand it myself. I love that quote. Then an old friend comes to visit, or she goes to visit an old friend. Hey, skinny white girl. Hey, big black guy. His wide, homely face broke into a grin. He reached across the bar with arms as long as Fifth Avenue, lifted her off her feet, and slapped his mouth noisily to hers. Come on, was all she could say. Can't help it. I miss seeing your face. Plus, I thought about you just this morning. How about that? Yeah, how about that? How's it going, Crack? Be up, be down, mostly be up these days. I went by the park this morning, like I do once in a while. Take a look at the tree you had planted for my baby girl, my baby sister. It's greening up. Makes me feel good to see how it's getting green. His expression changed from pleasant to dangerous, like a flick of a switch when someone dared to approach the bar for service while he was otherwise engaged. The customer slunk away. Don't you love Crack? Okay, now, I haven't pointed this out in previous books, but it's sort of a favorite. Eve gets in a little situation. Only this situation is going to lead to one of the top moments in the series. Come on, y'all. Spoiler alert! Pizza hits all the notes. Calendar chomped on gum, so her jaw movement sent the huge triangles dangling from her ears jumping. You buy. I'm on for pizza, but the tab's a grab. McNabb held out a fist, and Eve's eyes narrowed as the two E detectives went through the first round of rock, paper, scissors. Gee, I'm sorry to interrupt playtime, but there's this pesky chore of hunting down a cop killer. We're on it. McNabb turned earnest green to her eyes. We're going to hunker down in the pen. We're just settling on the fuel and the buy. I cleared the night for it, Lieutenant, Calendar told her. But you gotta prime the pump. We took 8 desk units, 12 wall, and 16 portables out of the digs. Anything on there bouncing into Detective Coltrane, we're going to find it. But pump had to be primed. Eve dug in her own pockets. Pizza's on me. Peabody, I'm working for home. You can coordinate the search and seizure results, log it all in, cross all the T's. After that, choose where you're most useful. Got it. One thing. She quick-stepped with Eve towards Eve's vehicle. If Ricker and company hauled equipment or anything out of there, it should be on the building security, so we should. I've got them. I'm going to scan them at home. Oh. Peabody's face registered mild disappointment. I guess I should have figured you'd think of it. I just didn't want to say anything about it while we were inside and on record. It's good you thought of it. And one more thing. If we think we should reschedule Louise's bridal shower and all, I can take care of it. Crap. Eve pushed a hand through her hair. I forgot about it. Again. No, just leave it. We'll see you. If you talk to Nadine about it and she uses it to try to pump you. The investigation is active and going. We're pursuing all leads, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then. Eve climbed into her car. She made the tail within 3 blocks. In fact, it was so sloppy a shadow she felt insulted. Late model, nondescript black sedan, tint windows, New York plates. She noted the plate numbers turned to add a few blocks to her drive home. The sedan made the turn, huddled back 2 car lengths. She considered pulling over, seeing if the tail would follow suit to drive past, then scrambled to double back. Instead, she allowed herself to be caught at the next light, while the river of pedestrians flowed in front of her. Why would Ricker hire such a shitty tail, she wondered. A man with his connections, his reach, ought to be able to put someone with more skill and more technology on her. A Homer on her car, or at least a 3-point tail that could mix it up. In this traffic, she might have missed it. Stupid amateur move, she decided. Maybe she'd drive around a while, waste their time, see if they'd swing up close enough so she could use her car to barricade them, rouse them. Meanwhile, she might as well find out who owned the sedan. She engaged her dash link. Run vehicle New York 8630 Bravo Echo. Acknowledge. Working. When the light turned, she eased across the crosswalk, flicked a glance in the rear view. She caught the van out of the corner of her eye, pinned by cross traffic. She had nowhere to turn. As it barreled down on her, she punched the accelerator and hit vertical. Come on, you piece of shit, come on. For an instant she thought she might make it, but the speeding van caught her sluggishly lifting rear wheels. Impact slapped her back in the seat. As the car spun, excited a clumsy nosedive towards Madison Avenue, it filled with safety gel. She thought fuck and crashed. She heard its sounds muffled by the gel. The smash, crunch, screech. She went into another slapping 360 as the car that had been directly behind her at the light slammed her front fender, or more accurately, she slammed it. Despite the gel, she felt the jolt slap through her whole body. Dizzy, disoriented, she shoved out of the car, fumbled for her weapon. People thronged around her with everyone talking at once, through the bells going in her head. Get back, stay back, I'm a cop. She rushed toward the wrecked van. Her quick scan showed her the sedan streaming sedately up Madison. Gone, baby, gone. Blood in her eye, literally and figurative, she approached the door of the van, leading with her weapon, and found the cab empty. They ran. One of the eager witnesses shouted it at her. 2 men, I saw them run that way. The witnesses pointed east toward Park. I think one was a woman, another witness weighed in. God, they rammed you, then took off. They were white guys. One was Hispanic. They had dark hair. One was blonde. Eve curved through the helpful crowd, yanked open the rear doors in disgust. She studied the surveillance equipment. The tail hadn't been stupid and sloppy. She had. She yanked at her communicator. Dallas, Lieutenant Eve, Officer Vehicular, involved in vehicular. Madison and 74th, require assistance. She elbowed her way back to the car that hit her after she'd crashed. A woman sat inside blinking. Ma'am, are you injured? I don't know. I don't think. With glassy eyes and pinprick pupils, the woman stared at her. What happened? Require medical assistance for civilian, she added, then turned and looked at her crunched, mangled vehicle. God damn it, requisition is going to take out a contract on me. The information he'd gotten claimed she wasn't hurt, but Rourke took no one's word when it came to his wife, not even hers. Of course, he thought with a simmering anger he used to cover fear. She hadn't been the one to contact him, nor did she answer on her pocket link as he'd been trying it since he started across town. When he reached the barricade, he simply left his car where it was. They could bloody well tow it, he thought, and bill him. He covered the rest of the ground on foot, moving fast. He saw the wreck first, the accordion pleats of metal, the shattered glass, bitten chunks of fiberglass. Fear rolled over the anger like lava. Then he saw her on her feet, standing hull and arguing by the look of it with one of the medical technicians in front of an ambulance. "I'm not hurt! I don't need to be examined, and I'm sure as hell not getting in that bus. The safety gel discharged. Can you see how much I'm wearing? How's the civilian? How's the woman?" "Shaken up is all," the MT told her. But we're taking her in, getting her looked over. You ought to come in. Your eyes look shocky to me." "My eyes are not shocky. My eyes are pissed. Now go away." And she trailed off when she spotted Rourke, and he noted her eyes went from pissed to baffled. He walked straight to her, controlled the turbo race to simply sweep her up and away, skinned her finger beside the shallow cut and the blue around it that marred her forehead. "Is this the worst of it then?" "Yeah, how did you—" I'll see to her, he told the MT. "If she needs to go in for treatment or exam, I'll see to that." "Yeah, how?" "She's my wife." "Yeah?" the MT repeated. "Good luck, buddy." "Did you have to—" "Yes, my car's behind the barricade. Let's go." "I can't leave the scene yet. I haven't cleared everything, and I need to make sure the responding officers have—" He rounded on her slowly, very slowly. "Could you leave the scene if you were unconscious and being transported to the nearest hospital or health center?" The narrow glare she aimed at him didn't penetrate. "Let's go," he repeated. "A minute." "Officer Laney, I appreciate your prompt response. Wish it could have been sooner, Lieutenant, and we'd have busted the asshole." Laney, a hawk-eyed black female, glowered at the van currently being loaded on the flatbed. "The sweepers will go over every inch of it, and the sedan too. You ought to go with the MT, sir. You look a hell of a ride." "I'm just going to go home, thanks." She turned to Rourke and walked with him. "I'm not hurt." "Most people who aren't hurt aren't bleeding." "I banged my head, that's all. Geez, if I'd known you were driving home this way and would see that, I'd have tagged you first." She glanced around, winced at the unholy mess in the intersection. "It looks worse than it is, personal injury-wise. Let me get them to clear us through here." She walked to one of the uniforms at the barricade. A short conversation. She turned back, saw Rourke opening the door of his rich guy's car for her. She winced again. "Don't pet me or pat me or anything until we're out of here. It makes me look weenie." "Far be it from me." He got behind the wheel, threaded the opening the uniform made for him. He headed to Madison up Circle and headed home. "What happened?" "I was an idiot. Fell for it. Stupid, goddamn it. Other than that, what happened?" So, as a result of the car accident, we, the readers, get our dream. Eve puts up a fuss, but we get it. We finally get it. "Have some breakfast," Rourke repeated, "then we'll deal with your transportation." Scowling, she jammed her hands in her pockets. "I lost my appetite thinking about those bastards in requisition." Rourke simply walked over and programmed her ham and egg pocket. "Here, quick and easy, I guess." She took a sulky bite where she stood. "I'd get Peabody to offer personal sexual favors again, but they're not going to buy that a second time. They'll make me bed, then they'll still give me the crappiest piece of junk in the pile. I could bribe Baxter to do it," she considered. "The personal sexual favors? No, but maybe requisition a new vehicle, like he needs one, like they like him. Except they already know it's my ride. Her tone turned bitter as cop coffee. They have their spies everywhere. This is a very thorny problem, Lieutenant. I think I can help you with it. They'd give me the pick of the fleet if you offered them personal sexual favors, but I'm not going there. There have to be lines. There have to be limits. Besides, I'm a goddamn lieutenant. She stuffed her mouth with ham and eggs and thin warm bread. I shouldn't have to beg, she murmured around the food. I'm a boss. Yeah? Well, then act like one. Get a decent visitor's chair. Get a bigger office. But she doesn't want that. You're absolutely right. The bastards. He slung an arm around her shoulders. Let's go downstairs. I think I may have a way around this. It's not like I did anything. It's wrecked, sure, but it was wrecked in the line, fuckers. I agree, fuckers. The amusement in his tone was lost on her as she wallowed, stewed. I hate playing it this way. It just gripes me, but I can't get bogged down in this during an investigation. So maybe you could come up with a couple of cases of prime brew or VIP tickets for the ball game. A really shiny bribe. I could, no doubt, but let's try this instead. He opened the front door. In the drive sat a vehicle of dull and somber gray. Its lines were too practical, too ordinary for ugly, so the best it could claim was drab. It did boast some shiny bits of chrome that glittered hopefully in the morning sun. Peabody already took care of it? No. She started to walk to it, struggling against the personal disappointment that it was much more humble in appearance than her old one. A lot more humble. So the shiny bits came off as pitiful as cheap lip dye on a homey woman. Then she stopped forward. Don't tell me it's yours. You don't have anything this ordinary in your toy box. It's not mine. It's yours. You said Peabody hadn't. Now who was a half step behind? You didn't buy my official vehicle. There are no rules or regulations restricting you from driving your own vehicle on your official duties. I checked. Yeah, no. You just can't give me a ride. Of course I can, and fully intend to. It was going to be your anniversary gift, and now I'll have to come up with something else. There. You're going to give me a cop ride for our anniversary in July. What, you're as sensitive now and foretold my ride would get trashed? It was only a matter of time. But no, I thought it was a gift you'd appreciate. Now it's not a gift, it's a request. You'll do a favor for me and take it, use it. I don't get why you'd... It's loaded, he interrupted. The internal data and communication, both primary and secondary, is state-of-the-art. Its vertical and airlift are comparable to the new X6000. The X... You've got to be kidding. As with much else, it's what's inside that counts. It'll go from 0 to 60 ground or air in 1.3 seconds. Sweet! It can achieve a 15-foot vertical within the same amount of time. He smiled as she began to circle it, steady it. Smile widened to grin as she opened the hood. She knew next to nothing about engines. It's really big and shiny under here. It's programmed for solar, non-combustible, and combustible fuel. Its body is blast-proof, as are the windows. It's a bloody tank that'll move like a rocket. Auto nav, of course, hollow map, voice, and manual controls. It's an electronic detector that will notify you if anyone has a rigged or attempt to. There's an in-dash camera with a reach of 150 square yards in any direction. Jesus. So she's going to take it as a favor for Rock. And 10 bucks later, she still doesn't know all the stuff the car does. She doesn't know there's like 3 or 4 auto chefs in there either. She has no clue. But when Peabody finds out, woohoo! Okay. So now we're getting to one of my favorite lines in the whole book. Now she did pull her hair as she made the dash to her office. Rourke sat in her visitor's chair, comfortably involved with his PC. She glanced up she let loose a grateful sigh. You've changed, and I didn't have any time to oogle you in uniform. I have to go shopping! Staring at her, Rourke pressed his fingers to his temple. I'm sorry, I believe I must have a small stroke. What did you say? This isn't funny. She bent down, gripped him by the lapels. I forgot to get a thing for the thing, and I don't even know what the thing is supposed to be. Now I have to go out and hunt something down, except her eyes went from slightly mad to speculative. We have all kinds of things around our house. Couldn't I just wrap up something and no? Crap. Rourke sat calmly while she dropped into her desk chair and buried her head in her hands. Do I correctly interpret the thing for the thing as a gift for Louise's bridal shower? What other thing is currently being shoved down my throat? Give me a moment. Eve muttered, but her head shot up when she heard him say, Carol. Yes, genius! Carol can get the thing. No. Rourke said it firmly and had Eve slumping it. Carol, he repeated, if you were hosting a bridal shower for a good friend, what would be the appropriate sort of gift? Eve swiveled so she could bang her head on the desk. Rourke and Carol talked. Question answers. She didn't. It could be a cousin of. Sorry. uh, he held up a finger and continued to work PPC. All right, then, he said after a moment. Cara believes, given your relationship and the occasion, you should get Louise something both personal and romantic. What? A sex toy? No, not exactly. Lingerie, a nightgown, or as she delicately put it, an ensemble. Eve straightened. I'm supposed to buy Louise fuckwear? Which is how to indelicately put it. I can't do that even if I wanted to, who would I don't know her size or anything. I do. I just hacked her account and have all her sizes. Now I'm afraid you're going to have to go into an actual store as you've left this too late to purchase anything appropriate online. Oh God, just kill me. Don't worry, I know the perfect place. Of course you do. I want to pick up Alex Ricker, sweat him in the box for a while. I thought you weren't looking at him for Coltrane's murder. I'm not! But I can't tell what he knows until I know. He may know what he knows until I pry it out of him. Alright. So they go to the lingerie store. And, is this yours? The shop. I have a small interest, 20%, he added when she frowned at him. Why only 20? The couple who run it and own the rest used to work for me. They came to me with their ideas, their concept proposal, and business plan. I liked it, so I gave them the backing about 5 years ago. There's a second one downtown in the village, but it's a bit funkier. This one's more Louise. Then I could have ordered something and had it delivered, not to actually shop. Be brave, little soldier, be brave. He'd have gotten an elbow in the ribs for the crack, but he knew her well enough to evade. The space smelled sexy, she decided, like smoldering candles and subtle whiffs of perfume. Select items like exotic butterflies over displays where others floated like suspended jewels. A woman sat in a gilt and velvet chair, pursuing a selection of minuscule bras and panties as if they were indeed jewels. It doesn't even show, Eve muttered. What's the big deal when you're just going to cover it up with clothes? Let me count the ways. See? She bumped his hip with hers. That's just fuckwear. Like I said, I'm not sure I want to. She broke off when the tissue lady spotted Rourke and shot out a megawatt smile. So good to see you again. Oh, this is working. See? I got talent. No. I hope you're all hitting the like and subscribe for me. I could really use it. Don't you just love this book? Um, I lost my place. Adrian, you look lovely. Oh, she fluffed at the sunny waves of her hair. It's been a busy day. If you could just give me another moment. Take your time. As she went over to bra and panties, Rook turned to Eve. See anything you like? Is this where my underwear comes from? The stuff I mean that appears like magic in my drawers, and the robes that mysteriously find their way into my closet or the hook in the bathroom? Sometimes. He wandered a couple of steps away to study a short gown as pale as water and nearly transparent. Adrian and Liv have exquisite taste. Being women, they have a sense of what makes a woman feel sexy or romantic, confident, desirable, and being women who are attracted to women, they know what catches the eye, what makes a woman sexy, and so on. So she's a lesbian foxwear shop. She rolled her eyes when Eve aimed his at hers. Just saying, yeah, okay, it's classy stuff in a classy atmosphere, but sex but no skank. That should be their slogan. She grinned. That's what you get for asking me, taking me out of my element. She caught her face in his hand, surprised with a cheerful kiss. I wouldn't have you any other way. You go for skank as well as the next guy. Darling Eve, only when the skank is you. Um, Sorry to keep you waiting. Adrian hurried over to them as bra and panties left the shop with a bag. I let Wendy, our clerk, go about an hour ago. Hot date. Of course, when you're on your own, that's when you get 3 and 4 customers in at once. Lieutenant Dallas! She took Eve's hand and shook it enthusiastically. It's so good to finally meet you. Rook says you're not one for shopping. No, not really. You've got a really nice place here. We love it, thanks, my partner and I. How is Liv? She's great. She's pregnant, Adrian told Eve. 32 weeks. Congratulations. We're over the moon about it. She's just so tired today, so I made her go home at noon. She'll hate knowing she missed both of you. What can I help you with? Something special for me? No, 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 no. I'm good. More than that. Then that one. Rourke gestured to the water-like gown. We'll get to that after Eve. Oh yeah, well, there's this thing. And the word is this kind of stuff would work for it. Adrian narrowed her eyes, serenely blue, and thought, a thing, but not for you. You need a gift? Yes, thank God. Yes, I need a gift. The occasion? Like pulling teeth, isn't it? Rock commented. Shut up. Eve blew out of breath. Okay, it's a shower thing, a bridal shower thing. Oh, yes, we'll find just the thing. What's your relationship with the bride, I mean? Correctly assuming Eve was about to panic again. Is she a good friend, a relative, acquaintance? A friend. Eve standing up for her at the wedding, Rourke put in. A very good friend then. Tell me about her. What's she look like? She's blonde. Rourke sighed. Describe the subject, Lieutenant. Right. That she could do. Caucasian female, early 30s, blonde and gray, about 5'5", approximately 115, slim build, even features. All right then. Would you say she's traditional, edgy, artistic, flamboyant, classic? Excellent. Now then, what does she do? She's a doctor. Is this her first marriage? Yes. Is she madly in love? I guess. I love this book. I love this book. All right. I've got to do one more. I'm missing a couple of good ones, but I got to do the list. Um, what is um the guys are going to Vegas for the bachelor party. Uh, I've got Fiona McNabb on the way. I need a detailed and deep search on Sandy's finances. I've got the hideaway accounts from Alex, the ones he knows of. I figure there's at least one more. Sandy's gone rabid. and any self-respecting rabbit needs funds. All right, I'll see what I can find, but you'll be losing your E-team at 4. But we'll be leaving, Lieutenant, as arranged, for Vegas, Charles' bachelor party. You're going to Vegas? Baxter piped up, looking both and sad and hopeful. I know, Charles. Rourke smiled at him. Would you like to go, Detective? Eve literally waved her hands. Hey! I'm already here. Can I bring my boy? The more the merrier. Rourke poked a finger at Eve while she sputtered. You'll be busy yourself, and what we can't find in the next few hours, it isn't to be found. But in the unlikely event, I'll program an auto search. I don't see why we couldn't just postpone the whole thing until, of course you don't, but you're outvoted. So they go on the bachelor party. Eve does some more investigating. But he comes back from the bachelor party, and yeah, she sat up. I didn't think anyone missed me especially, so I did. Now she smiled. Yeah. He leaned forward to kiss her. I guess I should ask if you had fun. I was with a group of men, friends in casinos, in strip joints of the highest and the lowest class. You took True Heart to a strip dive? He almost glows in the dark when he blushes. It's charming. It's actually... The boy also hit for $5,000 on some ridiculous sock called Pirate Crest. 5? Yo-ho, True Heart. Ah! Come here. Don't log me off. I'm in one of the best quotes. Don't log me off, please. Here. There you go. Okay, now you can walk in front of me. Rourke laughed, and I heard every variation of that ever since. Oh my God, my sweet blushing Jesus. Wait, rewind. You took Mr. Mirror to a strip joint? He's a big boy and enjoyed himself. He has a pair of pasties to prove it. No. She clamped her hands over her ears in defense. I don't want to hear Mr. Mirror in the same sentence as pasties. And he won $1,200 at craps. McNabb came out 2,385 cents ahead precisely, which he informed us of often. Charles ended up down just over that. Feeney won about $25, keeping the reputation of his lucky shirt intact. Baxter broke even. How about you, Hotshot? As it was my casino, if I win, I lose, in a matter of speaking. So I'll leave the rest of the book to you. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do this with Incubus. I love Incubus too. JD Robb, Promises in Death. Please hit the like and subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job here. And I hope you enjoy Promises as much as I do. And it's the Tinglies that solve the case. Go Mavis! Have a good one.